Hi Exiles. In the background, you can see me running some maps with my Dex stacking Eye of Winter caster build. I saw this build by Captain Lance, and I had to give it a try. I want to see if I can make it old man proof because it looked fun being able to cast that fast. I have a few clips of gameplay and maps, and a couple boss fights, and then I will go over what I did different in the results. Okay, so let's go over what I did. First, I opted to go for the Breachlord Bloodline Ascendancy instead of all. This gives me 8% increased life, 15% less cold damage taken, and 15% less physical damage taken because of my graphs. Then, with the extra points I picked up Deadeye for increased effective marks, Frenzy Charge Generation, and Tailwind for some speed. I don't get the extra projectile because of Runegraft of Refraction. Instead of taking Blood Magic and Pain Attunement, I put some points in life for needed survivability, and then took Mark for Death and Mark Mastery, so marked enemies can't deal critical strikes. Alright, let's start with the Eye of Winter 6 link you're seeing on screen. This setup is all about keeping damage consistent and predictable. Awakened Spell Echo plays a big role here. Since the base damage is low, the extra repeat makes up some ground here, and that chance for double damage on the final repeat adds up nicely. Awakened Cold Penetration and Hypothermia work together to cut through resistances while keeping enemies chilled or frozen. From there, I leaned into crit scaling with increased critical strikes and increased critical damage, which is an efficient way to scale damage when you're limited on passive points. I did test a few swaps. I tried Ice Spear for bossing, and while the numbers look good on paper, it didn't feel like an upgrade in real fights. I also tested Glacial Cascade. It had decent overlap, but it still felt less reliable and less comfortable to play. In the end, this setup just worked better in actual gameplay. The way Eye of Winter overlaps and chains felt more consistent across both mapping and bosses, so this is the 6th link I stuck with. Next up, let's talk about Auras. In my main hand, I'm running Herald of Ice for clear and explosions, along with Vitality for a bit of passive sustain, again supported by Enlighten. In my shield, I'm running Purity of Elements and Zealotry, both linked to Enlighten. Purity of Elements gives ailment immunity and needed resistances, which is a nice quality of life bonus. Zealotry is there purely for damage and fits really well with the spell-based build. Between these two setups, all of my mana ends up reserved, so I need to run Eldritch Battery, but the payoff is worth it. In my gloves, I'm running Cast when damage taken linked to Cold Snap. Cold Snap is mainly there for chilled ground, some extra control, and occasional frenzy charge generation when things die in it. It just does its thing in the background without me having to think about it. I'm also running Frostbite in the gloves, linked to Empower. This is my manual curse, and Empower just helps push the effect a bit further. It's an easy button to hit on tougher enemies or bosses, and it fits well without adding any real complexity. In my boots, I've got Sniper's Mark set up with Mark on hit, along with Empower and Enhance. This lets the mark apply automatically whenever I hit rares or bosses, so I don't have to manually manage it. Sniper's Mark works especially well here since this is a projectile-based build, and the extra scaling from Empower and Enhance just makes it stronger without adding more buttons. This setup definitely helped give some extra killing power. And finally, my helmet. This is mostly about convenience and staying safe while mapping. I'm using automation linked to Steelskin, so Steelskin is basically handled for me without needing another button. I also have Frostblink of Wintry Blast linked with Spell Echo for insanely fast movement for when I need to move across a map or get out of dodge. I'm using Mageblood for utility over raw dexterity in life, letting me keep permanent flask effects. I have high curse reduction, immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood, extra cold resistance, and boosted crit chance for flasks. I also leech some spell damage as Energy Shield, helping with Eldritch Battery. Progenesis helps buffer damage, and my life pool is nearly 6,000. My armor adds dexterity and converts physical damage to cold, stacking with my Breachlord Ascendancy for mitigation. My boots grant immunity to ground effects, life regen while moving, and extra life scaling with dexterity. I have 100% spell suppression, and my shield boosts reservation efficiency, allowing me to run all my auras. Altogether, it's stable, defensive, and feels smooth in actual play. You will be able to see my gear in the POE in the description, and I will link Captain Lance's video if you would like more of a breakdown of how this build works. I'm currently level 98, and will add some more Energy Shield Leech to smooth out single target damage with the last 2 levels. This was an expensive build, but super fun to play with. This is one of those builds that you can only play when the stars align, sort of like Paulstron's Infinite Vol build a little while back. That's all for now. Until the next video, happy gaming. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.